What is going on? And no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is the man from the milk carton box, Young Baca, back on the show, man. Flow show. We 3 out of 4. Shout out to Mac Lowe. He's getting his move on, but it is Quincy Jones Go as well as Brian Andrew. And this is For the Love of Wrestling. This is the Flow show, man. How y'all doing, man?
I feel amazing. I'm happy to be here, man. I don't get to talk with wrestling with anybody else in my life, so I'm excited to be here. Doing my thing, part of Samoan Dynasty.
I would make the case though. You missed a couple podcasts, but there hasn't been much to talk about in wrestling except for the occasional releases and stuff like that. So,
well, it seems like the releases are the only thing to talk about, right?
Well, we had I think the last couple of episodes we had fun because we were kind of more like fantasy booking how to get the certain matches in certain scenarios, like towards like SummerSlam or like just within like the Roman Reigns storyline, which is always fun. But yeah, like Brian's saying, it's like obviously they haven't really given us a whole lot. I mean, yeah, we had Hell in a Cell, but I mean, dude, they gave it to us for free on SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
I haven't been excited about wrestling in a long time, man. In a long time.
Are you excited about SummerSlam coming to Vegas?
No, I'm not. If I was excited about SummerSlam, it would be great because I could plan a show on Saturday night and then go to SummerSlam on Sunday. But it's not even worth me making that trip and all that negotiation.
Well, I don't know. I was going to say it might be a good look for you because they're actually running on a Saturday, so that Sunday will be open, and it's the same night as the Canelo fight. So there's going to be people out there.
I just I'm not excited about going to SummerSlam. Everyone asks if I'm excited that they're traveling now and you can go do be a match.
You're like, why would I be excited for something I never stopped doing?
Yeah. No, I'm saying
I've been outside
traveling, like going to see a WWE event.
Oh, like a show,
like
WWE event?
It had to be a couple years now, right?
WWE, I couldn't tell you. I was on the AEW kick, but when everything got shut down.
If the rumored matches are going to happen, it is going to be a deep card.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I brought it up because I'm fortunate. I'm going out of my seat. My seat is okay. I'm not really tripping. It's my first big event post, all the pandemic and stuff. So I was excited, but then when I was talking to my homie about it, he's like, yeah, but there's gonna be a lot of people come from all over the world. You know how many fans been waiting on this? I'm like, yeah, you're right. These dirty motherfuckers, man.
No, but it's gonna be good energy though, right? You're gonna have an amazing time. I have an amazing time every time I go to a wrestling event, even if it's a house show.
Until you get that Delta variant.
Until we have to watch the wrestling,
I don't mind the rest. Like it's I think the reason why I'm excited is because they're making it like what I mean. I'm cheap for saying this, but obviously WrestleMania has been on my bucket list. I've been to almost every event but a WrestleMania. It's just what I mean. It's just either the dates haven't worked out, the money wasn't right. But Doc, he was able to go with his wife when they went to New Orleans, which was dope. And I'm sorry, there's something about like watching WrestleMania live, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call from my brother, and he's in the bathroom at the arena, and you could just hear the roar of the crowd like echoing off the walls. I was like, "You're a real one, Doc. I appreciate."
You guys have a close relationship that he's calling you out.
I was laughing because he's like, he the only reason why he called me, he's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving." I'm like, "Why are you leaving?" He's like, "Dude, I only showed up to see the Undertaker. I don't give a fuck about the rest of this card." And so he waited until
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine leaving that.
Well,
if you're going to spend all that money.
No, the last he by the time he showed up, he caught most of it. I think what he missed was like the Roman Reigns main event or whatever. He's like, fuck it, I'm just going to be pro. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, and I mean, coming from a Taker fan, I get it. But because, I haven't hit that WrestleMania, box yet. I'm like, I heard that they were coining this, like WrestleMania SummerSlam or something like that. Kind of like the same thing they just did with Backlash. If that's what it's going to be.
I hate it, man. I hate it. I'm really frustrated.
I hate it too, but I will take it. I'll take it as a check off the bucket list if I can, because the only reason I say it like that is like they kind of treat SummerSlam like the WrestleMania of like summertime, right? Like that's like kind of like their second biggest.
Yeah, well, SummerSlam's the second biggest event, right?
Yeah, I would say arguably next to Royal Rumble, probably. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close, but yeah, I would think SummerSlam's like with the party of the summer, as they always say. I don't know how
it is going to be a great party, man. Especially in Vegas, it's going to be an amazing time.
That's what I was thinking about. That
it's going to be awesome.
The proposed matches, we keep hearing whispers about John Cena. I doubt he'll show up unless he'll do like a run in. But I am interested to see where they go. Obviously, a lot of people are thinking, with the return of Edge that we can get into right now. A lot of people are thinking this is going to be Edge and Seth, which is like a talked about match before Edge even got cleared. So.
Are you guys still excited that Edge is back? Because I'm over Edge. I've been over Edge for a minute now.
If we're getting Edge versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like if it's something where he's in a program that's not directly, with the championship, I'm okay with that. But the last time he did it was with Randy, and it went like 3 matches. So, the thing with Rollins is I think that'll be great. The clash of modern day with the Attitude Era and stuff like that.
The promos will be pretty good.
Yeah,
Edge,
I think especially
Edge is a babyface, but he's kind of does the tweener thing a little bit. Seth Rollins is in my opinion, a very likable heel.
Yeah, he's been doing some of his best work right now. So I think the verbal wars between them would be pretty good. I will admit the return got spoiled for me last night, but even still watching the last segment, I was still entertained by it. I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, where the fuck is Jimmy? Jimmy should be on his ass, right? And then Jimmy gets there and he's like, oh, now we're just going to spear him through the barricade. I was like, God damn it, dude. I'm like, that spot is not special anymore. Like almost just did it on Monday, but missed. Yeah, like he ran into like he went to go take somebody out. I think the War Raiders, and they moved, and he just did it on Monday. And then like 5 days later, we got Edge doing it for real. I don't know. Like someone the size of Edge wouldn't knock that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't expect that. But as far as am I excited? I'm excited that he's not near the championship.
Who would you want to be next to the championship then? Because somebody has to emerge, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like when they
no one's taking Rey Mysterio as a serious contender, right?
No, dude, especially what they built it up in a week just for the sake of it, and then they even have it on the pay-per-view, dude. Like,
well, I look at it like this. I think we're gonna get Edge versus Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
and then Seth Rollins will be involved in some capacity, which will lead to Edge versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, which, in my opinion, will be a makeshift #1 contenders match, even though they probably won't bill it that way.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns most likely is either facing John Cena, which might not happen, or in my opinion, somebody else who. Maybe and like that's a returning Daniel Bryan or something.
I was trying to think. I was like, that's the only other option. I keep hearing up and down about Brock. Like, supposedly there's people who did contact him, and then there's other people who said their sources say that there's people with WWE sources that say they contacted him, but then there's people with Brock sources that say that no one's hit him up at all. So I'm like, I'm gonna
be real with you. If they hit a Brock Lesnar and it's not used for the Bobby Lashley match, I'll be pissed. Like, I don't give a fuck how good they can put for Roman.
I mean, like,
still do that match down the line. Like,
a lot of people were questioning whether or not if he were to come back, if he would have Paul Heyman with him, and I'm like, well, at first I was like, nah, but then again, I'm thinking if it depends. If Brock's on a different show, like if he's on Raw, he can sit there and say, I own, I manage both champions, or not to say that he would automatically beat Bobby, but, given his accolades and accomplishments when he's on Raw, he holds the title hostage. You know what I mean? So not a bad look for Heyman, but I don't know if we need both Roman Reigns and Brock to hold the belt hostage at the same time. The difference is Roman makes it entertaining. Yeah. Roman tells a story the entire time because he's there week to week. Brock shows up when he wants, and then we gotta depend on like Heyman to tell the story, or whoever he's beefing with at the moment. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for a Brock Lesnar run again. As far as them needing him for ratings, absolutely, they need him.
What if he comes in as a babyface this time and Roman's the heel, or is he just not able to be a babyface at all?
It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing.
I like him.
It really depends because he has his moments. Where you remember the Brock box, he had the boom box, like he was still.
But that wasn't being a baby face, though. That was being obnoxious.
Well, true, but he was getting cheered. He was low. Was he being racist? Or I guess I'd call it a serious stereotypical.
Yeah,
type. Yeah, that's right on the line there. Yeah.
If they do Roman versus Brock, though, they would probably have to have Roman Reigns legitimately beat the shit out of a baby face that everybody likes. And then Brock Lesnar kind of, I'm not saying mix the save. Maybe the ass beating already happened, but then Brock Lesnar's music hits to confront Roman Reigns right after the babyface ass beating. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't see Roman Reigns beating the shit out of like a John Cena, and then Brock Lesnar coming out and people giving a fuck, or
true,
or him beating Edge, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits and people give a fuck. I think it has to be.
I think the casual fan might give a damn.
Brock Lesnar,
in terms of baby face, like if you want,
as far as the actual like response from that,
I don't think he could be a baby face.
I think he can't. Okay, the perfect way is like think about when Triple H came back from injury. Remember he was getting a pop, and even the promo he was cutting was a heel promo, but he was getting cheered.
Yeah.
So I think like absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? So I think even though people say their shit about Brock, once he shows up, people are gonna lose their shit, Well,
that music, when that music hits, it's a very recognizable.
Yeah, exactly. Like
song. And
the mood
people will pop.
Yeah,
but if you're trying to build a story that Brock is the babyface for 2 to 3 weeks, you're gonna have to do something very babyface like.
Yeah, I mean it's hard when again he's not there week to week where you can put him in there with like tune-up matches with like a few heels that he can just destroy quickly. Like he doesn't work that way, you know what I mean? But
it would be impressive though for like the Usos to run after Brock. Brock just fucking suplexes everybody, and it's just him and Roman standing. And it's basically letting Roman know like you're gonna have to do this on your own, And
I mean, and
that could be a babyface thing,
I mean, I think what could make him babyface is if they do that. Paul Heyman's in the middle trying to like hold peace between these two guys, and then say like Brock like just shoves him out the way. Like I think the moment he like denounces Paul Heyman, he'll get cheered.
Because you don't need Brock Lesnar to cut promos either. He just needs to come out there, kick ass, and show up for his match.
I was thinking the same thing, and again, I don't know if I want to personally see him as a babyface, but you have to think that the amount of people, and it's crazy the amount of people, like as much people praise Roman Reigns, there's a lot of people who are calling him boring and don't like what he's doing, and I'm like, what could you possibly be watching other than this? I don't know.
But
that's
just people that are miserable, and that's
I was gonna say never happy, right?
I've been complaining a long time about how wrestling isn't as exciting and interesting as it is. But Roman Reigns is amazing. But I want it to be interesting. I want it to be good. There's some people that no matter what WWE does, they're still not gonna be happy because that's the whole personality. If WWE is good, they have nothing to talk about.
Like even if you just complained about the one thing, they'll fix that one thing. You're like, oh yeah, but they had to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, then what do you want then, man? Yeah. So it's one of those things where there could be a healthy amount of people that are tired of seeing Roman, and if Brock shows up, that's not automatic. Like, oh hell yeah, you know what I mean? Like we like all you have to do is show up and just F5 Roman, and he'll get a babyface cheer. You know what I mean? It's until he makes his first promo. Like that's the thing. Brock Lesnar's character is always the same. The only thing different is the target. So it's like if you change his targets to heels, it'd still be the same thing. It's just a different type of energy, you know what I mean? But
it would be really cool if you went down there, F5 Roman Reigns, and you just stared a hole through Paul Heyman. And you just left it on that cliffhanger.
Yeah,
you don't know
absolutely.
And then you could even have like Paul Heyman that you could be like under contract. He still technically represents Brock Lesnar, so he's trying to mediate this and make this like trying to figure out a way to make the match maybe not happen.
Yeah, and I can see that because out of his best interest for his client, and obviously he's getting paid as much as he can, with the trophy that he's next to, which would be Roman Reigns. But then when you got someone that he knows could stop him, then things get a little bit different. But I know you got to get out of here soon, Baca. I
got 25 more minutes, man. I just got an extension. I was extension.
Because I actually wanted to ask you about
my supermodel girlfriend said it's okay if I stay a little longer.
That's what's up, man.
Wrestling with my friends, so
you know what I mean. I was.
You going to do a what podcast? Listen, sister.
It's like tell her it's wrestling with something like
yeah.
You know what I mean.
I do a weed podcast now too, so I guess there's no limits to what I could do.
When did you start doing that? When did you start doing that?
Tuesday. I started doing this Tuesday.
No, when did you start smoking weed?
I don't, and that's what's so great. I don't smoke at all, man.
What a poser.
Yeah, no, 100%. Same thing with wrestling. I do a wrestling podcast. I watch highlights of wrestling. It's really hard. I try to. It's just so hard to get into it, man. And it seems like I don't know what's going on with all the releases, but I thought release season was over.
Dude, this is like the third. So they had like what the WWE release, like the talent releases, a few staff releases, and they had the NXT stuff, and then it's like another month. Like, I mean, I would argue none of these names are that surprising, but there are some that are because they literally just signed contracts. But here's the list so far: Fandango, as well as Tyler Breeze. So Breezango's gone. Everrise.
I know you. Rest in peace to Fashion Files. I still think.
Well, you know what?
Like, it was still one of the best segments.
Well, so see, this is what my brother was saying was like, well, since they never let them use the Fashion Police thing, like they should just do it somewhere else. And I'm like,
in the Indies,
yeah. Or I mean, or anywhere else that would pay them, you know.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, did they even trademark the Fashion Police? Like,
I'm sure a company like WWE had to, because they had merchandise.
But maybe they were not.
But they were never. But they were never called. Like they would kind of refer to them on mic, but they would never were actually called the Fashion Police, which I was like, that's dumb. Like I don't know. Which
would be a really good indie tag team name, because that's basically what they were half-ass called in WWE.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to open up that conversation yet as far as where these people are going to go, because the only reason I was going to say is, like, I know Tyler Breeze has ties with Sean Spears because they run a wrestling school together. I don't know if that's an automatic
they also run a video game page, I think, with Corbin.
Oh yeah, because I was wondering, like, the up down down thing too, like, because he was like always on up down down, but I just found out that that's owned by WWE. So I wonder if they're going to be like, no, you can't show up on the show anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's weird. But him and Xavier Woods are like really good friends.
Well, I was going to say, but that's the thing is, what's so weird is everyone that shows up on the show, they're not even in character name. Like, they're in their shoot names. So I wonder if it matters.
Well, he sold up down down, right? Because he created a page and he sold a WWE.
Well, he had
to get a great check, man.
He's the because remember, everybody was like, well, what's up with all these third party stuff? And Xavier must be really in pocket with these fools. And it's like, well, no, the reason I'm able to do it is because they own it. But I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if he sold it to them around that time to avoid having to do that. You know, I feel like maybe they didn't always have ownership of it. Because again, if they have ownership of it, why are they going to allow them to show up under shoot name, you know, or under their shoot names? It's like kind of weird. But yeah, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Everrise from NXT. Not a huge fan of Everrise, but the reason why that was surprising is because I literally just reported last week that they just signed NXT contracts, and then they get released. So I was like,
oh really?
Yeah, dude.
Well, they were the team that every team had to put up, like, they had to get put over before.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought they were eventually gonna, like, make, you know, like how every team, like the Street Profits at one point was that team that would help put other talent over until they eventually had their moment because everyone moved up, right? You always thought Everrise was eventually,
and they're really good with that, to be honest, as far as like building up those tag teams to start getting their stock up. But here's the other list of names that I'm sure are definitely not. Well, the only other one that was surprising was Kurt Stallion. Only because they put a lot of stock into this kid. I remember there was a lot of buzz on him as far as like they would talk about him on NXT as well as 205 Live, but never saw him wrestle. Yeah, exactly.
They putting you over on 205 Live, man.
Well, I don't know. See, okay, hold that thought, because I will get to my last point after this. But yeah, here's the list: Aria Daivari, Arturo Ruiz, August Gray, Kurt Stallion, Everrise, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Marina Shafir, which that is Roderick Strong's wife, which kind of weird that she got released right when he gets back on TV. The Singh brothers. So yeah, we're not going to need them. And Jinder's rolling with some new guys anyways. And Tony Nese. So honestly, aside from like Fandango and Tyler Breeze, and Kurt Stallion, I don't know if any of these guys are going to get any more work. I don't want to say it like that, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't see them being high priority to sign. You know
I just don't know. Like,
Tony Nese, he'll be in Impact because that's where he came from for sure.
Tony, I don't know how to get into Tony Nese if I tried to.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. He couldn't get over. That's the problem.
Like, he had the I got an 8-pack, and then he comes out with the entrance vest that it has the opening around the abs. So okay, I get that. And every time he comes out, he counts them, right? Okay, but after that, what's that? What's
that can't be a personality.
Exactly.
You know those guys in real life whose personality is that they have.
You don't even want to be around those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys are annoying. That's why I keep it round. I don't want to get too solid because I'm already annoying as it is. I don't want to push the line.
I get that fat guy excuse.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Hey, we don't want to get too buff.
I want to work out, but I don't want to get too puff. That's the thing.
Then y'all gonna start treating me different because y'all think I'm different.
Yeah, I want you to appreciate me for what I am.
So, like, also, as a genuine wrestling fan, are you happy that these guys got released and now they could get work and time and shine
happy.
in other places?
There's very specific circumstances where I'd be happy someone got released so they can like. That's only if I feel like they would be better off, rather signing with somebody else. But that's none of these names that were dropped here. But I forgot one name.
But would you rather have the WWE stockpile all these guys and they all have a solid job and they could feed their family, or would you want them to cut the fat?
See, is this me as a businessman, or you're asking me this as a fan?
Give me both sides of it.
As a businessman, it makes 100% sense. I mean, as a fan, yeah. I mean, because I mean, it's not necessarily like that is what they're doing, but that's also the mistake. It's like you sign people just to lock them up, and so they're not, basically like they're pieces on the board, and you want to make sure you got these pieces so no one else playing can use these pieces to beat you, right?
Yes,
but then when you just buy the pieces just to have them in your possession and do nothing with these pieces, and it's like, I don't know, man. But it's hard. It's a hard question. I mean, as a fan, I think that's where we get frustrated, because we're like, okay, so he's here, and the ceiling is the fact that he's just here.
Yeah,
and that's it. You know what I mean? It's just so that they couldn't go to these guys, and it's like that sucks, because now these guys, their dreams are getting messed with for finally being signed at a place that they've dreamed of working, just to not do nothing for the sake of just being there. And it's just this bigger like bitter war that they're not necessarily wanting to be a part of, but they're being used as part of it. You know what I mean?
I can see both sides as well.
I definitely understand both sides, but I don't think that I don't see a compromise between the both sides. You know what I'm saying? Where both can work.
I would make the case too, where in some of these cases we could be like, you know what, it's really good for this wrestler to finally go somewhere else and do what he does best, but some of these people were WWE grown.
Yes.
And it might not work as well on
the indie circuit.
For example, fucking Johnny Curtis, Fandango, he was in the WWE system for I feel like a decade now. Or
he said 14 years when he said 14 years.
Him and Breeze. I mean, Breeze was what, Mike Dalton before he was Tyler Breeze too. So like, both those guys are like kind of like day one NXT guys, like even FCW guys from back in the day.
So and then
Tyler Breeze was a tag team champion, right, in FCW.
Yeah,
right. And you can make the case. Roddy Strong's wife. And the other one got released too. The other four horsewomen.
Jessamine Duke. Yeah, she wasn't doing anything anyways. She was, I guess, working in the YouTube department. Like she was helping out with a lot of like the graphics and producing stuff. So
they have kind of a recognizable name based on some of the Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler stuff, but not. So, but they're probably talented enough to maybe make it work somewhere else. But they're gonna have to start from the grassroots level.
And I don't feel like they have a strong personality too.
No, I mean,
on the indies, man.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, aside from those two being on Raw Underground like once or twice, I mean, you didn't really see anything else from them. They backed up Shayna on NXT, but I'm sorry, but Jessamine Duke has never been believable to me. As a threat. Like she walks in with this walk, but I'm like, if it was anyone else but you or someone else that looked different from you that was doing it, I'd probably you know what I mean? I get the impression, but I'm not getting it from. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, bud.
One last guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, friend. That was good, dude. That was really good. What's it called? The one name that got added, actually, I forgot, was Killian Dane. Was actually another person that got released.
That was kind of surprising.
I was surprised because his wife is now a superhero on fucking Raw.
I mean, maybe he got released because he said that the superhero thing was her idea.
He's like, or maybe they came to her like, all right, if we're willing to let you do this, are you willing to get your husband fired? Because we need some money. I was like,
gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, because I was at my buddy was like, why do they need all this money? I'm like, and I just laughed. I'm like, they got to pay for that SummerSlam set somehow, you know what I mean? But they're like, but dude, they're making so much money right now, and they keep just dropping people. I'm like, I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you.
But why hold on to dead weight? Like Tyler Breeze and Fandango, if they go to AEW, that's not going to swing. That's not going to swing AEW.
Well, AEW is also,
but it's also
getting concentrated too.
Yeah, I mean, because you
it's
have
like-
to. You know, the economy's not what it was 2 years ago. You got to trim some fat.
Yeah, I think
You know, you
I
can't
think
have everybody on the roster.
The Breezango thing was weird for me just because they like made it a point to make them champions earlier this year, right? And then it's just like, then they're gone. But it's
Well,
like
maybe they gave them one more chance.
But the thing,
I
and the
feel like-
NXT tag division, although it's very top heavy, it's pretty good.
yeah.
They don't have a lot of filler tag team, and then Breezango could also. The thing is, they have the utility and the name to be like, we'll be the filler, we'll put some people over, and then if some people get called up, we could step in line to be in a tag team title feud or win the tag team titles to kind of keep the tag division afloat. Now the tag division kind of lost that, and I don't know, like, because it's very top heavy.
Yeah, I
Vince
agree.
McMahon starts saying, like, you know what, we're gonna want X, Y, and Z. Then the tag division is gonna suck again.
And then Triple H is like, you mean MSK?
Yeah,
That's
but,
what I said. XYZ. Yeah.
but that's not just an NXT problem. That's a WWE problem through and through. They absolutely have no respect and do not invest in a tag division.
Well,
Well,
Okay,
the
so
NXT gives a shit though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, but that's also the problem too. And I was trying to explain this to my brother, but I feel like part of the problem too with the NXT, like as far as like the call ups, and this is going to bring me to my last point actually, is I feel like they like what happens main roster and what happens in NXT is not canon for some reason. Like they'll introduce somebody from NXT, and then it's like everything that they were doing or had did or anything they accomplished is like it's not part. It's like
it doesn't exist. It's like it's in a different company. Right?
Yeah, it's
when
not,
that's still
it's not part
if
of
it's
the
your development, why wouldn't you
it's
use
not part
that
of the WWE
to
universe.
catapult your superstars? And that's I just don't get it. Or bringing up guys
because
to perform
AEW,
on main event. What's the point of doing that? You know,
AEW does the same thing because it's kind of the same thing with BTEs. Like you watch it, and then there's times where they'll actually talk about something that happened, but don't say that it happened on there. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna use some of this stuff, then
you gotta be all
gotta,
in. Or, 100%.
So, but I say that to say like.
Especially for a casual fan, I don't want to cut you off, but especially for a casual fan, you don't know if PTE is part of the AEW storyline or not, So it does get a little convoluted and a little complicated.
Yeah, especially because they break kayfabe a little bit on there. You'll see people that aren't supposed to be kicking it together, you know what I mean, on the show. So you don't know what to take for real and what to take, for what it is.
I think there's a lack of leadership at AEW. I think you have a 15-year-old fanboy running it.
I think honestly it might be just a case of too many Indians.
Yeah, too many.
You know what I mean? Or it could be.
I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Listen, I agree.
Or it could be too many Chiefs or people who want to be.
I think there's way too many Chiefs, and not if everybody has creative control, you're gonna have some issues. I feel like AEW's lost a lot of steam in the last couple months. I don't know if that's
it's because of the fucking NBA playoffs.
I feel that too. And then
you're never gonna I'd much rather watch Trae Young than
maybe a move that's TBS next year will help.
Remember last time they tried, like everyone started talking about Chris Jericho's body after the game. So it's like no.
What about these guys starting a petition to have not NBA games on Wednesday night? Yeah, we're not gonna have LeBron and all
the money that we make from these basketball games, we're just gonna leave it up to
it's unbelievable. But it is a struggle, and I do understand that, and it is tough when you go to watch, especially if you're a kid or if you're younger, you go and watch your TV show and it's not there, you don't know what's going on. It is tough.
Well, my case is just move it to TBS on Wednesdays, and just like
and just
you
put
on the NBA
TBS championship.
That's a really good idea.
And you could put on the NBA ticker on the bottom every 10 minutes to say, hey, if you're trying to tune into AEW Dynamite, it's on TBS.
Especially when TNT has invested so much money in AEW as well.
And what's good with that is you can get kind of people already acclimated to getting familiar with TBS since they're going to be, their new, I think it's in August too, when they're going to be starting that new show. So, I mean, that's a great idea, to be honest. You get people already in the habit of, wanting to get into TBS anyways. But
when does Dynamite move to TBS? Does that move? Is that
I think
August,
that's
or is that
not, I think that's next year. I think
because the NHL starts. Wait, no, that's on wait. Did they pick up the NHL TNT?
I don't know.
ESPN picked.
I thought that was I thought that was Fox Sports that picked them up. Okay, there's ESPN.
Who picked up? There's another sport then that TNT picked up, and that's why they can't do Dynamite on Wednesdays, right?
Is it?
I thought it was hockey.
Is it?
Maybe.
Possibly. I mean, I just know when I was younger and I used to try to look for Raw, but it's like, oh no, sorry, the the dog show was on. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they used to have the dog show on all the time, and I always thought to myself, who the hell's watching this dog show?
And then
or they would have Dennis. I can understand
not
Dennis, but who the hell's watching the dog show?
Who's watching the dog show at 9 p.m. prime time on a Monday? Dude?
I could never understand tennis. I could kind of get it, but I never understood, even as a kid, that who the hell's watching this dog show over this? You know, and wrestling was popping then. It was the most popular thing ever.
Like, I'm
Who's watching this dog show with Stone Cold?
They must be in the lot of guap.
They must also own part of the dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Championship show as well.
But yeah, the last thing I was going to bring up is I don't know if you guys saw this footage. I want to get your thoughts on it because it kind of goes back to the whole whether NXT is canon or not. You know, there's been talk about bringing some new people up. There's even talk about, I believe the draft is coming back on the August 30th. And I think the week after that. So I think August 30th and September, 6th. But that's another way, I guess, maybe Brock could be brought back if he's not at SummerSlam. But the reason I said that's because there's been more names being added to the list of names available. Like for some reason, The Undertaker and The Rock's name are on there.
Jeez.
And I'm like, what are we doing? You know? And then, but the other thing is,
but there's just no consistency, and that gets what gets
imagine
me so upset,
Sheriff
man.
Taker just being fucking
the emo redneck coming through.
Dude, you know what would be funny? Can you imagine?
Lives matter.
That's all I see when I watch that documentary is that stupid line that he had.
No,
that's
honestly,
all I saw, man. That's all I saw.
All I see is like this guy low-key hates a New Day. Like
I'm asking
new wrestlers.
No. He actually loves New Day. And the only reason I say that's because I had a clip that I got from the Last Man Standing or the Last Ride documentary where he's at WrestleMania and they're all just like spraying water at themselves, getting ready for their like entrances and then he's just sitting up there having this funny ass talk between Big E and Kofi, and they're just joking back and forth. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that is.
But
dope.
I know you guys remember that.
I guess
old
you just
school...
don't talk politics, right?
No, they weren't talking politics. They were talking wrestling. Yeah, they're like, oh, that's that new stuff. Oh, yeah, it's that new stuff.
You know, me personally, I
know,
but I
really keep it wrestling.
Well,
I miss when men were men. You know, they had
old crusty men, and they kept the Glock 40.
Now they're playing video games. What the hell is this?
But you know what's funny is I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one infamous picture of Undertaker in like as the dead man, and he's holding like he has like the American flag he's holding behind himself.
Yeah.
I want, and the internet probably already did it. If not, internet, I know you guys will do this. Let's get that picture and just make sure that American flag just turns into like a Blue Lives Matter flag.
Yeah,
and then
I can see that.
Right?
He has that flying high.
But I was bringing up the draft because two names added to that list are current champions in NXT. One being Bronson Reed, which I was kind of surprised that they looked at him and thought he was ready to get brought up. And Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, well, both of them, but Karrion Kross actually just had a tryout match on Main Event, and the entrance was trash, dude. Like he didn't have Scarlett with him. They didn't do all the special effects. They just had him walk out like a regular guy.
And that's what I don't understand. Why does he need to be on Main Event? What is the point of that?
I think they were just trying to
watch the NXT.
No. I think what they did was they picked a show with a low viewership rate so that they can try something. I think they were trying to see how he looks on.
You don't see NXT on Main Event. Figure it out.
Well, but you know that they film it different. There's definitely two different looks to I like
get that,
Finn Balor said.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna steal this from Wrestle Talk, but they're like, Karrion Kross had a fucking tryout match. Like, what the fuck is NXT then? NXT is just like a match.
Dude, it was. I saw the clip and I was just like, this could have been anybody that came out. You know what I mean? It's like it reminded me of like remember they used to have Jacked on at like 2 a.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah, I remember Jacked.
They had like Sunday Night Heat.
I love Sunday Night Heat. Sunday Night Heat was dope. Especially but going into a pay-per-view, it was awesome, man. You would have
that was cool.
Arena. I love
unless you didn't have a black box or paid money. To
I never watched the pay-per-views, but I watched Sunday Night Heat and I was hyped up.
I used to hate
Sunday Night Heat right before the pay-per-view started.
Yeah,
and then like, oh shit, I forgot I can't watch it. I get so hot, dude. But yeah, I don't know. If you got, I'll send you guys.
How many pay-per-views did you buy as a kid? Were you able to watch?
Never bought. I
didn't watch.
Saw different. Watched different story. But as far as bought, never bought.
My mother bought me one pay-per-view. I got one pay-per-view. She bought me one pay-per-view, and that was Invasion, because I was convinced as
man, that's a great one
that this was it. Ma, listen, this is it. If they lose, there's no more wrestling. That's it.
And she's like, oh hell yeah, I'll put money.
I was convinced. I was like, yo, Ma, if they lose, this is it. I was so convinced.
Thank God.
People talk a lot of smack about the Invasion angle, but I loved it, man. Maybe because I was 10 years old and I believe everything.
No, I loved it too, but I loved it, but yeah, when you get older and you realize,
you look back and.
Well, it's stuff you don't know behind the scenes. You don't understand, like contract stuff and people.
Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that an amazing time when you?
No, but it was great, dude. Because I'm telling you,
it was amazing. I loved it.
Like when I'm at school trying to tell people about, I'm trying to tell people about ECW at school, and they'd never even seen it or heard of it. And the next thing I know, I'm watching Raw, and then fucking Spike Dudley and Rhino come out. I'm like, wow, like this is what I was talking about. Like, so yeah, that shit was wild, but. But I just want to actually.
I'm gonna throw this out there. A lot of people give shit to the Invasion angle because we didn't get like all the good WCW guys, but we got all the good ECW guys for the most part.
Yeah, no, we do. We had
at least at the beginning.
I mean, when you think about it, like WWE pretty much had all the good ones, and then they ended up having them join. You know what I mean? So it was, but it was. I mean, when Lance Storm showed up, that was dope. When Rhino came and speared the shit out of Jeff Hardy, that was. I mean.
Especially when you're 11, 12 years old, it's
dude. No, I mean, again, like
it is unbelievable.
You don't even know what kayfabe is.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, yo, like, cause you're seeing people you would never see on TV, let alone on the same show, let alone in the same ring. And that's why to this day, dude, I always check the corner of the TV whenever AJ Styles is on TV because I'm like, can't believe this fool's in WWE. Like, it's still a trip to me, dude. But yeah, let me ask y'all just so we can end on this. You think Karrion Kross is doomed, or what's up, man? I mean,
I think everyone that comes up from NXT is
doomed,
man. It's
he's a little bit more. All right, I'll throw this out there. Bronson Reed's more doomed because I think Vince McMahon was like, well, who's the champions? Oh, okay, Bronson Reed. Okay, bring him. He would never bring up Bronson Reed if he was a North American champion. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I feel because he doesn't have the look.
No, I feel like he without the title, he otherwise wouldn't be in his on his radar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if he were to ask who, if he's asking who the champions are, and he's not one of them. I don't see Vince going down to the PC and like, so how's the new crop coming? You know what I mean? I don't see him down there scouting at all.
Especially after you've been in the game for so long, you have to be jaded on some stuff,
Well, it's I mean him for sure. He's obviously stuck to his ways, but it is interesting because I did hear there was like 4 or 5 people that are actually it's like a huge scouting situation going on right now. But I'm like, then why are you guys getting rid of people if you guys are looking to sign new people? I'm like, you guys trying to sign a bunch of $50,000 NXT contracts that you guys could afford as opposed to like a couple million every 3 years. Like
they use the same 8 people, so who gives it then, right?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I don't get it.
I keep hearing that they're trying to look though. Well, I keep hearing that they're trying to utilize, like there's going to be like an influx of like cruiserweight talent. They're trying to rebuild the cruiserweight brand or something. But I'm like, that's cool, but that's not what the immediate like attention. You know what I mean? That's not the immediate.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna save your company from the fellow.
No. I mean, and to be honest, I would argue that NXT has been putting on consistent TVs the last couple, I'd say month and a half. There was a time where it was kind of getting, whatever, but they've been.
I'll make the case about Karrion Kross though.
I want to hear this.
He's one of the few NXT call-ups that if he didn't get a world title match within the next 3 to 4 years, I wouldn't be surprised. And if he kind of just solidies himself in that mid card, he's doing fine. Like I
can see him doing fine as a mid card.
I've never been on the Karrion Kross like bandwagon. Like he's good. He's got the look. I think he's got the main roster pace down.
Yeah,
but in terms of like, do you think he's doomed? I don't think so because my expectations are not as high as they were for other wrestlers.
That's true because
I don't feel the need to.
We've had our heart broken before. We've seen how this
don't get it. I just don't get how you waste all this talent, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
the WWE expectations are not there.
Yeah. Like fan expectations.
Like the WWE killed the expectations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but it's hard to look at a guy like Kross and say, yeah, we're gonna fuck that up. Like, you know what I mean? But they've done it.
They've done it with so many people, man. You know,
so
how could you mess it up?
It is interesting though. This is probably the first guy that's like the size that Vince likes that's come up from NXT in a while. So I have to see how he protects him. to be honest. I've been hearing rumors that supposedly Aleister Black might be coming back, but I don't know about that. I just know
if you're
that
Aleister Black, why would you come back? Why would you trust that they would?
I mean,
they would do
especially
you right
with,
this time.
it's like
Unless just for the money, which I totally
like
understand.
you and your wife are gone, so you're
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm good. Like I was just, but
yeah.
But as far as Bronson Reed, to be honest, I feel like I could see him flourishing as a Intercontinental U.S. title champion. I mean, that'd be a good spot for him. But at the same time, I already know they're going to try to somewhere down the line book him versus Otis. You know what I mean? They got to get that big.
Why don't you cut Otis? Let's give it to Otis. I'm done with Otis. And I was so high on Otis too, man. Because I was so high on Otis.
It's funny that you bring him up because I was gonna bring that up like off mic. Like it's just like it's crazy how like the difference in a year. Because remember he won the Money in the Bank briefcase, and it's funny now because I was like back then he was doing the whole my peach, you know what I mean? And then but now he shaves. He
looks awful. Why would
he looks like? He looks like he's cutting commercial like. Well, you know about those peaches in the summertime. Like he went from a peach to like freaking Kiefer Sutherland on a commercial real quick. It's just like
they used to have those Triple H and Stephanie McMahon memes, right? He was Triple H with the World Heavyweight belt, and then Mandy. He was on top of the planet. I would love him. He was my favorite wrestler, man.
It was
and
weird.
He just blew it. I just don't get it. I get frustrated.
I just have a hard time when they get rid of tag teams just to make another tag team.
Yeah.
And it's not like you guys
there's years of chemistry with Tucker.
Yeah,
I'm
even thinking like there's not a huge, over freaking like we're not like freaking stacked to the brim with tag teams where you're like, oh, we got to cut some of these down. You're like, no, we need to keep some of these. Like you getting rid of these, you're splitting them up, getting rid of one of them, and then you end up releasing the other one like the next couple of months anyway, and then you guys are complaining about how like the lack of depth in the tag team division. It's like, dude, that's y'all. That is y'all. Like that's, I don't know, man. It's shit's crazy, but that's all I had this week, man.
And I know we're not, but I was gonna say the women's tag division doesn't mean anything. But like
crazy.
You broke up Mandy and Sonya just to have Mandy go with Dana Brooke, and it's like, well, why? Like at least let them have 6 months to a year of single run. Yeah, I don't have a single run before you start just throwing them in another tag team. Like,
I just don't understand how a company that big could just let things like that happen. It's just it's unbelievable. It can't all be Vince's fault. I know you guys like to play Vince, but it all can't be Vince's fault.
Like my thing is, I don't believe it's solely Vince. I believe that there is a team of people, but I mean, I almost forgot that. It's worth bringing up now. You got that writer who just got let go. I don't know if you heard about that. They hired a young black woman. I think 2 of them that were on the writing team, and then she gets on a podcast, and then she's basically like,
Jabba's podcast. Shout out to Jabba's podcast.
I blame her for what she said.
Yeah, why would you be ignorant and say that, right?
Well, see, that was my thing. Was like
because she was just saying that she had no experience and she didn't even know people's names.
But it's one thing. It's okay if you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing when you're coming from it like, man, look how unaware.
Look how I got over. Look how I got over.
Look how dumb my boss is to hire me. You know what I mean? Then it's like, oh no, we got to let you go.
And I think that's the thing, like, because the WWE gets a lot of shit for their creative.
Yeah,
and then if you're hearing that the WWE's hiring people that don't know fucking anything about the product,
it's
it makes the company look bad. So
really, and then you got her saying, I think his name is Bobby Ashley. I think he's like the world champ. But yeah, he's with or I guess he used to be part of her business. They're just guys that wear suits and are like, I'm cool. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like,
it sounds like the storyboard. She was on this. It sounds like the storyboard they used from Raw.
No. Yeah, seriously, right? It's like if someone were to walk in and then you're trying to explain to someone like simplify it, you're like, well, yeah, these guys are in suits and they're cool. Yes, I don't know. It really came off as someone who does.
What do we got going on for Raw tonight? Like, we got those guys who wear suits and they're cool. And I think this guy named Bobby's the champion. That sounds like the Raw already in the last 3 months. Like I don't. Like, she can't be the only one.
The guy with the big belt buckle with the W on it. Yeah, that guy.
Like history lessons from Drew McIntyre. We got that set up.
Oh man, just seriously, like, oh, we can't forget. We got everything set up for Alexa. Yeah, it's gonna be a 30-minute segment. Let's get that.
This shit's fake anyways. Why don't we just let her fucking do some magical shit? How about she controls the minds of everybody else around?
Oh, that's tasty. Yeah, let's just use that. Let's go with that. Like, goddamn, dude. Like they just need to kill it already. Like someone needs to like have Nia Jax slap the shit out of her and then say, "What the fuck? Where have I been?"
I really just want the Fiend to come back, Sister Abigail her, and then it just snaps her out of it.
That'd be great. But then it's like, then where does he go? I don't know.
I don't know. Just go back home.
Just go back
home.
home.
He shows up once and just goes, and then he's like, all right, later.
I ain't gonna lie, so you can't have him come back and like just freaking. He like neck cranks the shit out of her.
it's on the Thunderdome, so they can still do weird effects. So he just does the.
Oh, that's true. Dude, okay, I still like. It's funny because I never knew that choo choo shit for Strowman was actually piped in. Like I thought that was like the announcers doing that shit, and then until you said it, I was like, oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was piped in.
Wait, the crowd did that?
Yeah, I thought isn't that what you were? I think that's what they were. A lot of people were saying before, right?
Yeah.
With Strowman, like, I mean, it's I don't know. It's weird. It's the same as like when they added that weird sound effect for Aleister Black's the entrance and shit. Yeah, and then like the fire, the fired gunshot for Ricochet and shit. But I don't know, man. That's all I got for this week.
Real quick, did you hear why Ricochet wears jeans?
No. I was wondering that because I saw the clip this morning.
What is he trying to like? He looks like he's trying to be like a Street Fighter character. I don't know.
Well, he said that I didn't read all the way through the article, but I got the nuts and bolts where it says basically he feels like he has to earn his wrestling attire back. That's how him personally feels.
Why? Says who?
Because I don't know. He says like when you're an up and coming wrestler, you have to earn your wrestling attire or something like that.
So he's up and coming.
So I don't know if he feels like he's up and coming or if he feels like he sucks now, so he has to re-earn that.
That's another thing. I used to love Ricochet.
Ricochet. I mean,
I was like, how do you blow somebody like that?
Bro, like
good looking, super athletic.
I think you could blow someone like that.
Dude, did you guys did you hear about that shit he had on Twitter a couple of weeks ago where people were getting at him for something he said about Io Shirai?
Yeah.
Dude, it was not bad at all. He didn't.
What did he say?
It wasn't about her at first. He just said, basically, like I can't quote him but he was just basically in his bag saying like, no one could do what I do, right? And then as far as like the top flyers, because that's what it was. WWE had a top flyer, I think top high flyers list that they did. They do like all these videos and shit. And I think he was on it, but I think he was saying like, yo, there should be actually like nobody on this list or something. He said something like that, right? I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, yo, you deserve to be cocky. Because you ain't got nothing else going for you. And
like every rapper thinks they're the best, every wrestler thinks they're the best wrestler as well.
But then someone came in and like, oh, what about Io Shirai? And he even said like, yo, no disrespect, she's dope, but she can't do what I do, and in anything she can do, I've already done.
Yeah.
And people went crazy. I'm like, okay, y'all are making this misogynistic. Like, it's not that at all. It's about pure talent. He ain't lying, so why y'all getting mad about it? You know what I mean? Is it just because
it's 2021 and you can't say anything?
Bro, I was like, is it because it's Io Shirai? Or like, what if he would have said someone else like from 205 Live? Y'all wouldn't have gave a shit. You know what I mean? Like, but because it's a woman, I'm at least that's how I'm getting it. Is like, I don't know. I felt bad because it was like, yo, like you should be calling your shot and being cocky because you know your value and what you bring as an act, as entertainment, in that ring. And then it's like, now you got to sit up there and delete everything because everyone's fucking trying to cancel him and shit. I'm like, that's stupid as fuck. But I don't know. Back to what you were asking before. Am I glad he's released? I'll be happy when Ricochet is released so he can go back to doing what. Especially like New Japan has been filming in California, so he can go back to the dojo as far as I'm concerned. But that's all I had though, man. That's all I had this week.
Amazing episode, guys. I thank you guys for holding it down while I'm gone.
Of course,
I know this is going to come out in a couple of days, but tonight we got a show in Miami, Mescalita, Foxta, Star Life Nation, and me and my best friend, Juan Artes, were hanging out yesterday. We got a lot of new venues, a lot of new cities we're doing, so Young Baca Productions at Young Baca. I enjoy talking wrestling with you guys, man, and I'm going to make more time to do it, and I apologize. I'll be missing some weeks, but I love you guys. Brian, you okay as well? And Quincy, we're gonna get this thing going, man. I'm ready for my federation.
Yeah,
so
we gotta chop it up. Yeah,
I got the hot wing with me already and everything, dude. So I'm excited.
It seems like you don't have a lot of available time. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I keep adding more stuff.
He's like, so just keep 3 hours open for me a week. I can't tell you which day. It's always gonna be switching up. No, I appreciate you though, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys be holding it down, man. And I think I hold you guys back because when I'm not on the podcast, you guys go for like 2.5 hours. It's unbelievable.
No, you hold us to a time limit.
No, but like I can step out now and you guys keep going,
But sometimes we need to, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like I enjoy your
jaded view of wrestling.
No, I like that you're not a yes man, and we can have conversations. And at the same time, I love bringing controversy your way because I love to hear your response as well. You know what I mean? So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you said that you co-signed them firing a young black woman. Okay, I heard that. That's what I heard.
So there's one thing I know. I gotta go. I got this supermodel staring me down.
No,
she
you're
was
all
on.
good,
She
bro.
was on. She was on the podcast. She was still employed when she was on the podcast. Oh, that's after she got fired, right?
No. Yeah. No. Oh, you talking about the writer? Yeah. She was. Yeah. She was still employed.
That's unbelievable.
In the podcast.
That's unbelievable, and she deserved to get fired.
I was thinking the same thing.
I thought she was fired, and then she went on the podcast.
That's like you got a nice little gig with, I don't know, Apple, like or something, and then you're like, yo, I finessed the shit out these fools. You're like, okay, so this ain't gonna get back. Like, I don't know, man, but. Again, man, appreciate you taking time out. Shout out to Mac Lowe, man. Probably another couple of weeks going to do predictions for Money in the Bank. That's going to be pretty loaded because there's a few good names shaping up so far. But this is the Flow Show for the love of wrestling. Be sure to follow us on all social media, man, as Flow Wrestling Show and Flow Wrestling Pod as well on Twitter. And feel free to check us out every weekend on YouTube as well as the Young Baca Productions Podcast Network. Feel free to follow Young Baca Productions as well as Young Baca. Stay tuned in with all the shows he got going on and a lot of different opportunities. Follow the Quincy Jones Show as we definitely going to have a rollout for some merch. As shout out to Doc Lesnar. He's creeping up on 20,000 streams for This Is Awesome.
This Is Awesome is amazing, man.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's funny because he had a small goal of like, yo, hopefully I could hit like 10. I'm like, why are you going to stop at 10, bro? Just keep, if it's going, keep it pushing, you know?
That's awesome, man. Awesome.
Just shout out to Doc Lesnar, man. And also definitely make sure you go and follow the Awkward Side Hug podcast.
There hasn't been an Awkward Side Hug in a few weeks, Brian. I'm a big fan, dude.
We're figuring some things out.
I'm a big fan. Well, I listen to it, man. I'm a big fan.
But you know, they can go back and listen, get acquainted with the product. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lex. He just had a belated birthday, man. And make sure you follow Brian Andrew _ as well as Lucifer Hammond if you're a dog person. On that note, shout out to Mac Lowe again, man. Hope everything gets situated. Hopefully we'll see y'all next week, and if not, the week after that. We'll figure it out. But till next time, it's been the Flow Show. Peace.